nowhere else.
We are the champions.
New app, new look, the gold standard. YourSportsEdge.com.
We are the champions.
Download now. YourSportsEdge.com.
Caldwell County is a special place in western Kentucky, featuring beautiful tracts of land. Even though the real estate market is always in a constant state of change, Bollinger Real Estate and Auction understands this and is ready to work for you.
Hi, my name is Ben Bollinger with Bollinger Real Estate and Auction. Whether it's a property valuation or time to sell, Bollinger's team is dedicated to work for you. Real estate solutions with a passion for people.
Local businesses have supported us in every regard. Now it's our turn to support them.
At the Edge Media Group, we believe that 2021 will be the start of the greatest comeback of all time. You truly made a difference in 2020 as you chose to support local and to rally behind our local businesses, clubs, organizations, and communities. We choose hope. And we're asking you to join us to motivate, inspire, and support others as we seek to not only survive, but to actually thrive. We believe that our communities can make the comeback stronger than the setback. It starts with supporting local. It is sustained by being positive and extending kindness. Please continue your extra efforts to support local. And thank you from the Edge Media Group for being a part of the greatest comeback of all time. You are making a difference.
The Edge Media Group encourages you to support local. Be sure to post what you're doing to show your support. Hashtag support local.
Have you been to Big Deal Store yet? Go to WPKYOnline.com and click on Loyal Listener Big Deals. The other day, I redeemed a gift certificate on my smartphone. It was so easy. Thanks to Loyal Listener Big Deals, I found new places to eat, have fun, take the family out, and get my car fixed. With Loyal Listener Big Deals, you can save money and try new businesses. Go to WPKYOnline.com. But you better hurry. You never know how long each deal will last.
The Edge Media Group is growing, and we're looking for another outstanding person to add to our team. If you're highly organized, energetic, and have strong clerical skills, apply for our office and marketing admin position. This is an exciting opportunity where you'll enjoy a fabulous work environment working very closely with our management team. Along with ongoing top-notch training, enjoy competitive pay and lots of growth opportunity. Email resumes to careers@edgemediagroup.net. The Edge Media Group is an equal opportunity employer.
The 70th Western Kentucky State Fair in Hopkinsville is back. Day one is tomorrow, Friday, June 25th. Gates open at 5 p.m. Rides open at 6 p.m. with unlimited armbands, just $15 per person. Enjoy the petting zoo in the livestock pavilion and live music by Nature Walk at the gazebo from open to close. Coming up Saturday, it's Pageant Day in the Convention Center and the Demo Derby in the Grandstand. Schedule of events at westernkentuckystatefair.org.
Here's something you should know.
It's that time of year again. Nominations are being accepted for Fredonia's Yard of the Month. Send Kaylin Conway your nomination for your favorite yard inside Fredonia city limits by the 10th of each month. The Activities Committee will announce the new month's winner by the 15th of every month. The Fredonia Yard of the Month.
1580 103.3 WPKY. We care about our community. It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYOnline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. As always, another busy show lined up today. Going to start things off with Caldwell County boys basketball head coach Daniel Cookie Hicko. He's in the studio with us. And Daniel, good morning. And you guys have basketball action going on today.
Absolutely. Good morning, Todd. Always good to be here. And last day before the dead period starts, so we'll get in a few more games before we call it a dead period.
What have you guys got going on today at the Cab?
We've got Union County and Trigg County coming to the Cab today. We're going to play I'm going to play 5 games between the 3 teams and just kind of wrap up the summer.
Kind of some JV action going on too with the varsity teams.
We'll play. Caldwell will play 2 varsity and 1 JV. and we'll play both teams varsity, and then we'll play one of the teams on JV level. And like I said, kind of get one more round of games in before we take a couple weeks off.
What time are you guys starting today?
We'll start at 12:30, and then basically every hour after that, we'll go 5 hours in a row. It probably won't take 5 hours. Hopefully. Last time we do running clock in the summer, so the rules are still the same, but the clock is just a little bit different. So it's just tell the guys it's time to learn about ourselves. So we'll do that for, I guess, one more time.
We're talking basketball this morning with Tiger head coach Daniel Cookie Hicko. A little bit later on this morning, Caldwell County baseball head coach Jimmy Dyer will be in the studio with us as well, so stay with us for more. We'll continue on the Sideline Report after this timeout here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy offers a wide range of family-friendly classes as well as personal training, yoga, gymnastics, sports training, cardio, and weightlifting. Trilogy has something for everyone. Trilogy now offers an app with online workouts, live classes, nutrition tracking, and more. Search Trilogy Performance Sports in your app store. Use sign-up code 1824. For app info and more, follow them on Facebook.
Goodwin Insurance Agency and Woodall Agency have great news. Effective January 1st, they have joined forces to provide even more options for all your insurance needs. Together, they provide the best prices and coverage from top-rated insurance companies and insure all lines of insurance. See Tori Hammett or Fred Foltz, or go to insurewithgoodwin.com for more information. Don't pay too much for your insurance. Let them shop for you and save today.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section and after Dad's back injury. They helped you when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Trouble with opioids can start at home with unused medicines such as pills, patches, and syrups. You can remove the risk and protect your family. Find out how at www.fda.gov/drug disposal. Brought to you by the Pennyroyal Regional Prevention Center.
At the Edge Media Group, we're looking for a highly creative person to become our next marketing specialist on our sales team. Our mission is to help local small businesses grow. We use our radio stations as well as all of our digital marketing products to create promotions that provide tremendous results for our clients. The position offers excellent earnings opportunity in a progressive, fast-paced environment. If this sounds interesting to you, email your resume to me, Amy Berry, at aberry@oldies1480.com.
Back on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Tiger basketball head coach Daniel Cookie Hicko in the studio with us this morning and talking about playing basketball today. And Daniel, maybe everybody doesn't understand why there's summer basketball, but basically these are, for the most part, just workouts against another team, right?
That's pretty much what it is. We do, we don't have a lot of new guys in the gym. It's a different team. It's really the first time that you have an opportunity to see what you're most likely going to put on the floor for the next season, in this case 21-22 season. And so, we've had a lot of different guys in the gym. And the thing that's challenging about summer basketball is summer's a time when the kids, more so than ever, are being pulled in so many different directions. So there's not as much practice time as you would like, so it's a lot of games, and we're going to play after today we'll have played about 17 games or so, which is kind of the number I wanted to get to, or close to it, 17 to 20 games, because I think you can play too much. But like I said, it's just we told the guys that this is a time we're going to play. We played a lot of different opponents, and we've played well, but it's time for us to learn about us and see what we can do, because really you think about fall sports after the dead period, you have football, soccer, and golf, and a lot of times all those guys don't come back to you until just a few weeks before the season starts, the real season. So this is a time to kind of maybe develop a little continuity, a little chemistry, and just get the guys hanging out with each other before they go their separate ways for a little while.
Yeah, there are no standings or anything. You guys just kind of pick who can play where and try to get some games in and get some action in.
It is, and it's kind of that's good in a way because you can do some things and create some situations that you sometimes wouldn't do in a normal high school basketball game. Obviously, with the running clock, most of the time, the players are just not in the best shape in the summer as they in basketball shape. So you do play more guys. You put different lineups out there that you want to see what they can do together. So it's fun. It's exciting for a coach.
Well, and sometimes you get to play some kids that don't get to play a whole lot maybe during the regular season because you are missing some players to whatever other sport they're trying to take part in.
Absolutely. We've had anywhere from 13 to 15 guys at every one of our games, and playing 3 games, 2 varsity and JV. I think in every place we went, home and away, it allows all those guys to get a lot of time on the court. For the younger guys, it allows them to get a little bit of experience, so that they're not, shake some of those nerves off a little bit. For the older guys, it allows them to lead a little bit. And while we're not I wouldn't consider us a veteran team, we do have several guys coming back that have played a lot of varsity basketball. So those guys in the summer have done a pretty good job of leading these young guys along and kind of showing them the ropes in this little snapshot of a season in the summer.
Well, do you guys kind of use the summer to maybe put in some new things you want to try this winter? Because I know when Michael Frelick's brought his Hopkins County Central team over, he said they were implementing some new things. So is this kind of the start of the upcoming season practice?
It is. We with not a lot of practice time, a lot of times, in the regular season, you have, a week or a couple days or a month to put in, lots of new sets and lots of new defenses. Whereas in the summer, it's more or less timeout. Come over here. We've never done this before. We're going to try to do this right now, and then kind of drawing it up. And I think that's good for the players because that's a skill that they need to be able to learn, not just for basketball but also for life. Here's something new we're going to try. Here's how we're going to do it. This is your one part. We've talked a lot about one body, many parts. So, this is your one thing you have to do. You have to set this screen, or you have to roll, or you have to come off the screen and go this way. Everybody does their part, and then it all works like it's supposed to. So, the summer is more, you're learning on the fly a lot more than you are the season, but it's good for the guys.
You mentioned the dead period coming up on Friday, and that runs until July 9th. And you guys can't do anything as a team during that time. But are there some things that each individual player can work on over that period to kind of keep progressing toward this winter?
Absolutely. The guys are already doing a lot of stuff outside of the team stuff that we're doing now. I know a lot of the guys go and they're talking about getting in shape earlier. A lot of the guys go to Trilogy on their own. A lot of guys go to Lake Barkley CrossFit. They're working on their bodies, and those two, Trilogy and Lake Barkley CrossFit, those two, I guess, gyms, organizations, I almost consider them like little families there. They do a outstanding job in both places of training our guys, creating that team atmosphere. So that's they'll do that, and then a lot of guys they'll find a gym, whether it's an outdoor Butler court or it's a gym at their house or a gym that off campus. They'll find somewhere to do some stuff. But it's also, the dead period is also good because, in this day and age, it's good for the players to, if they want to be left alone for 2 weeks, they can go fishing every day, or they can, play video, whatever it is they want to do for 2 weeks. That's their time, and I think that's a good thing for them to have.
Well, and for people who aren't maybe familiar with the dead period, I mean, you can't receive coaching from your coaches, the high school coaches. You can't use those facilities and those kind of things.
It is, and it's tough. I guess some people like it, some people don't like it. I think it's good for the players, especially in a school our size where you've got several players that are they're playing multiple sports. They're playing 3 sports, and if you think about it, they don't have, over the course of a year, they really don't have any other time where they can do what they want to. They're always in season in something, and so it's beneficial for them to be able to get away and just kind of unplug for a little while.
Well, and it looks like the summer months have kind of turned into basketball for June, and then football kind of starts, in earnest in July. I know everybody kind of tries to do their thing as much as they can, but Is that kind of a fair thing to say that June is now sort of the basketball summer month and July is more of a football thing?
That's a great way to put it. Great way to put it. And, I'm not naive, and none of the other coaches are. Obviously every coach wants their guy into their sport as much as possible. Coach Barnes and I have worked together, I guess, the last couple of years. And, I guess this is really the first summer we've had because last year was COVID. But we got together early on and kind of put together our heads and schedules and just made sure that, we both want the players to be able to do everything they want to do. And while, you kind of put it nicely there, June is a team time for basketball, and then obviously in July, a football team is really getting ready for their season because it's right there. We've tried to work out our schedule to where we have a handful of athletes that do play both. They can do that. It is going to be a lot on them, but if you want to be a multi-sport athlete, you're going to have to put in more work. So we put our schedules together and just kind of made sure that if it was an option for a player they wouldn't have to choose so much. We'll say that.
Well, you mentioned COVID there. Has things been a little easier for you guys? Maybe not having as many regulations or as much paperwork now because the COVID situation has eased up a little bit?
It has. It has. They dropped the temps and just still making sure that everybody's healthy before they come into the gym, but kind of dropped the mask deal, and that's been big. I think for the players to, it was weird setting up the chairs for the bench the other day and not having to put them 6 feet apart and put a bubble around them. And I think the players kind of like that. It kind of feels a little more normal. And I think once we get back into the regular season, summer basketball games, we don't have 200 or 300 people in the gym. We have, maybe 50. So hopefully next season we'll be able to fill the cab back up and fill our road games back up, so it feels a little more like normal basketball again.
Well, and the big thing for me last year, the crowd not being there, but you were limited on how many cheerleaders you could have. The band couldn't be there. It really sucked a lot of the atmosphere out of the gym.
It did. It changed the game. It didn't change the game, but it changed, like you said, the atmosphere for the players. Fortunate, I think we were able to get. That was one of my biggest concerns. Obviously, we're doing it for all of the players, and wanted them to be able to get their families, especially their immediate families, into every gym we played, so that they, especially we talked about the seniors a whole lot last year and how their junior year was kind of. As far from a spring sport athlete was kind of messed up a little bit, and then their fall sport, they lived through COVID, and then trying to make sure that their immediate families were in every gym to watch them play as much as possible.
Well, it was kind of weird because it took me a long time to get used to making sure that I had a mask with me everywhere I went, and now when I walk in someplace, sometimes I'm like, oh, I forgot my mask, but then I'm like, well, I don't need it anymore. So,
Absolutely.
So it's just kind of a funny mindset, even going back and looking at like team pictures and things, because for a while there, if you put everybody together, everybody had to have a mask on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have masks stored in probably 15 different places because I would just always forget it, and then I'm kind of like you, then I'd have it and then I wouldn't need it anymore. So, which is a good thing. I'm okay with not needing a mask.
Looking ahead to next basketball season, how much can you tell over the summer? Because like you said earlier, not everybody has everybody when you play them over the summer. So can you get a read on the other teams and the district teams and those kind of things?
You can, but like you said, not everybody has everybody. We played Trig last week, and they by far did not have a full squad. They had some guys that were out for different reasons, and then we've had some guys out for different reasons. Excuse me. So it is kind of tough to get a read. Like I said, you're normally in a typical season, you do a lot more scouting, and not to say that we're not learning things about our opponents, but we're trying to learn a lot about ourselves. We did, you mentioned, I think Central, they came in last week, and they're going to be a really solid basketball team. I think they had most all their guys in the gym, and they're much improved. And to be honest, they got a lot of guys. They have a lot of guys that are using that extra year of eligibility, COVID year, and coming back and reclassifying. So they're going to be forced to be reckoned with.
Yeah, Madisonville's got some guys coming back too, so district's going to be fun next year.
It is. I feel like every team that every coach I talk to says, well, we've got, these 3 guys, these 2 guys, these 6 guys that are reclassifying, and to each their own. And so Yeah.
Talking this morning with Tiger basketball head coach Daniel Cookie Hicko. Caldwell County baseball head coach Jimmy Dyer is going to join us after we come back, so stay tuned as we continue on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Armory Gun Shop.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, sunshine today with a high near 88 degrees, partly cloudy tonight, low down to 70. Tomorrow, slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm with a high 87. Looks like a slight chance of showers, thunderstorms on Saturday with a high 89 degrees. Sunday, good chance of showers, thunderstorms with a high 89. Let's get our forecast today, sunshine with a high 88 degrees.
Get ready for back to school with Health First Community Health Center, offering physicals, immunizations, ADHD treatment, and well child, sick child visits. At Health First, we offer affordable, quality health care for the entire family. We accept K-CHIP, Medicaid, Medicare, and all major commercial insurance. A discount program is available based on income and household size. Call today to make your appointment at 1-877-667-7017.
It's Endless Pizza Night every Thursday night at Adams Breezy Hill Farm Restaurant. It's Pop's Pizza, and it's not just any old pizza, it's brick oven pizza. Endless pizza tonight for dinner. Enjoy a side salad, all-you-can-eat pizza, and a scoop of Pop's homemade ice cream for just $15. Get your friends together or plan a date night for Endless Pizza Night every Thursday. That's tonight at Adams Breezy Hill Farm Restaurant, 1222 Cadiz Road, Princeton. Follow them on Facebook to see tonight's featured pizza.
We are back on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in today. Caldwell County basketball head coach Daniel Cookie Hicko is still with us. Joining us now, Caldwell County Tiger baseball coach Jimmy Dyer. And Jimmy, welcome on to the show. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, glad to do it. Anytime I can talk about baseball and our team, I'm here for you.
You know, back when you were hired for the second time in January, at least that's when the announcement was, I was able to dig out an old picture from about 20 years ago of you being doused with water, I think in the 2001 district championship game, and the guy holding the bucket is in the studio with us this morning.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. You know, you see all that on TV, and, you know, but to have it done, you know, to win the district was big, and then, yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a great team.
Yeah, Daniel, do you remember a lot of those games?
I do. I remember, I think we played at Lyon County that year, and the first, I think the semifinal game was against Critton, and then it got rained out, and we had to go back another day, and then we were down, I think, against Lyon County 4 or 5, maybe more runs, and then we came back and won, and it was it was pretty cool, a pretty cool experience. Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday. So it was pretty cool to see Coach Dyer back on the sideline and watching them over at Madisonville and in the region. You know, it brought back some memories, good times.
Well, Jimmy, when you look back over the season, certainly that district championship is what stands out.
Well, from day one, Coach Dono said, that's our goal. That's our goal. If we get that, we've had a good season. And we worked pretty hard toward that going and kept it in front of them day after day after day, reminded them why we were doing what we were doing. And the kids bought in. And if you'd told me before the season started we was going to win the district, I'd have said, we'll take that. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, you guys had a rough stretch or two during the season where you maybe lost a game you thought you shouldn't have, but it seemed like you were able to use that as motivation going forward.
We did, you know, and I'm thinking the same games you're thinking. And, you know, we lost 3 or 4 one-run games, and but we didn't stay down. They were able to shake it off and come on back, and, you know, we tended to follow those games with a nice little winning streak.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's an amazing stat, at least to me, that I'm going to throw at you guys. In 64 years of baseball at Caldwell County High School, 32 district championships.
That's pretty good.
No, that's pretty good. I mean, every other year, basically, you're winning a district championship someplace.
That is. And, you know, I coached at Lyon County for several years, and at the point I was there, they had 2. Yeah. So, yeah, I understand. That's just, baseball's pretty big around here.
Well, sometimes I think we take success for granted a little bit. You look at the run that Lyon County had in the baseball postseason this year, and before this season, they had won one regional tournament game ever. You know, Caldwell's been in the regional championship game 7 times, has won 3 championships, and again, all these district championships. And sometimes, you know, we kind of look at it like, well, we just should have won those. But, I mean, that's actually a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal. And congratulations to Lyon County. Man, what a team and what a run they've had. They're going to be pretty doggone good next year, too. Yeah, they're just kind of reloading. But baseball around here, parents ought to get their kids into it. We've had a bunch go to college. This guy beside me, I think 3 off that team went. And, you know, we've had a nice run of kids that's moved on up to play at the next level.
Yeah, Daniel, you guys had pretty good teams back then, too. That was right around 2000, I think. Yeah.
It was right around 2000. We were okay. I won't say our team was great. We were okay. But there was a group right in front of us that the team that won the football state championship. A lot of them played baseball. They were fun to watch and fun to see them play a few years before us. And like you said, there's been a lot of guys. And you look at the team that won the region a couple times in a row. Heck, you got UK playing there, and Northern Kentucky, Murray State, and then
Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah. Tate was on there, and he'll be going somewhere. Going to Wren Lake. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think back to, I think it was the 97 team that I thought was so good. And, of course, you go back and look at some of those regional tournaments, and you had Henderson County, and they had some of their best teams, and Christian County had some of their best teams. And it's just tough to get out of the region sometimes.
Yeah, and you brought up that 97 team. That brings up bad memories for me. We got over there, and they didn't even let us warm up for that championship game. We got off the bus and had to go play. We'd been given some faulty information by the tournament director, which happened to be the coach of the team we were getting ready to play. And we played well under the circumstances, but just ran out of gas at the end.
Well, and a couple of times we had regional tournaments where they flipped the brackets on us, and we were supposed to play the first semifinal game and ended up somehow playing the last semifinal game. So, you know, I knew you would have some good stories. That's why I wanted you to come in and be on the
show. I'm not. Yeah, I am. I'm still mad about a few of those, but it just seemed like they were kind of messing over the kids. It was to stack the deck a little bit.
Well, and going back to the district championships, I think it's 8 of the last 9 in the 7th district for Caldwell County baseball. And when the districts got reshuffled, who would have thought that?
Not at all. I mean, when you move into a big school, I mean, we went from Lyon, Trigg, and Crittenden to Madisonville and Central, to schools that are, you know, twice as big as us, maybe not that much, but we're holding our own pretty good with less numbers.
Well, what do the Tigers need to do to get better for next season?
We just need to come in and go to work. We this year we had one starter returning, and really one kid that had much playing time at all. Next year we're going to have 8 or 9. So they need to go to work. Don't think, because of what happened last year, I'll be in there this year. I better work and come ready. We got a couple of kids that could come out and help us.
Well, and again, we kind of got spoiled there for a while because we had so much good quality pitching. And you look, the pitching I thought was pretty good this year, but didn't have the back end depth that maybe some of those other teams had.
Yeah, we don't have somebody that can just come in and shut the door. Yeah. But I call them the killer bees. Ben Goodacre and Bizzle. When they walked out on the mound, our team thought they were going to win. We played different. Our defense was better. We just had a different swagger when they were on the mound. So I'd love to find another pitcher somewhere along the way. Somebody had gained about 15 miles an hour on their fastball this summer.
Well, winning that district championship kind of sent you guys into the regional with some momentum, and really thought you guys had some chances there against Crittenden County in that first round game.
By far, we played our worst 2 games of the season against Crittenden. I mean, we just came out and laid an egg both games. So, Crittenden throws off a little bit, and we jumped on them. We put the bat on the ball. We were rolling, and then we just couldn't get out of the 5th inning, I believe it was. And I don't think we didn't make errors. They just dinked and dunked and walked and, just could not get out of there. And they score 7 on us or something like that, and we lose 9-7.
Well, pretty good hitting Crittenden County team, too. And to be honest, I thought after Crittenden beat the Tigers that they would end up in the championship game. They just couldn't quite get by Henderson County, but that Crittenden County team was, if you look back at Crittenden County baseball history, was a pretty good hitting baseball team.
They were really good. And when we got the bracket, Coach Dono and I were talking. I said, whoever wins this game will be in the finals, because we expected to beat them. We knew what Bizzle could do. And then when we walk Ben Goodacre out there against Henderson, we feel really good at that point. We're coming in on a high. We're rolling a little bit. We weren't scared.
Well, and going back to Lyon County, you guys played those guys tough down there.
Yeah, we did. That was 5-3 or something like that. That Bingham kid hits a 3-run home run. My goodness, I don't know if we got that guy out all season long, but yeah, we when we've got those 2 kids on the mound, we're a different team. We just are. I wish we could get around that, but. Yeah, I thought we had them beat down there. Sure did.
Well, and that's a Lyon County team that probably has 3 Division I kids on its roster.
They could have put 5 or 6 on the all-region team. They're that good, 1 through 9. There's not a weak spot out there.
Well, that's what I said when they were making their run at state, that everybody kept saying, well, this is a really good small school team. And I'm like, it's just a really good baseball team. Now, you get to state and you run into somebody like Louisville Trinity. I don't think anybody was beating Louisville Trinity. I mean, look what they did to McCracken County in the finals. But for Lyon County, I think they kind of proved that they were right there with anybody. And to me, that kind of elevates everybody in the second region.
Yeah, I kind of called this about 4 or 5 years ago. We were playing a tournament down there, and I mean, their 8U team won, their 10U team won, their 12U team won, and they were smoking people, and they were good. And so this is not a surprise to me one bit. They are a good team.
We were talking about the COVID thing earlier, and of course, baseball season was kind of weird for me because I went from the first of the season not even knowing if I could be in the dugout to take pictures, and then by the end of the season, we're not even wearing masks or anything.
I kind of like the end of the season a little bit better myself, just saying. But, I still don't understand all of these things they put in place, but, just like can't go congratulate them for a home run. We can sit on the same bench and be, on top of each other pretty much, but we can't celebrate. We can't shake hands after a game. Those things, they really take away from the atmosphere of the game.
Well, and even to the point that you guys couldn't throw the baseball around on the infield after an out.
No, and a couple of times this year, had a kid off the mound lick his fingers and didn't wipe his fingers off before he touched the ball, and they have to throw the ball out, and it's done for the day. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'll be glad to get rid of all those COVID things. And that was one thing I was going to ask you, Daniel, earlier when we were talking about it. Are we going to get back to jump balls this year?
I sure hope so. We've done them this summer, so I hope that's a good sign. Hopefully it'll be, like I said, back to normal for the next season.
Yeah, nothing was as weird, I guess, during COVID as to walk into a gym and see the coaches and the referees over there flipping a coin to see who got the ball first.
To be honest, we probably won more jump balls by flipping a coin than we ever have jumping the basketball. I told the players
maybe
that.
there you go. I mean, that's a positive out of it then. Talking this morning with Caldwell County boys basketball head coach Daniel Cookie Hicko. Caldwell County baseball head coach Jimmy Dyer is also with us. We need to get to a break on the show, though. We'll be back with more after this here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Raider Auction Company, Hopkinsville, buys and sells farm equipment every day. Find out more at RaiderAuctionCompany.com. That's ROEDER auctioncompany.com.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, sunshine today with a high near 88 degrees, partly cloudy tonight, low down to 70. Tomorrow, slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm with a high 87. Looks like a slight chance of showers, thunderstorms on Saturday with a high 89 degrees. Sunday, good chance of showers, thunderstorms with a high 89. Let's get our forecast today. Sunshine with a high 88 degrees.
They say variety is the spice of life. We all want choices. Men and women want to pick what they want. When it's time to select that special truck, Trice Hughes in Princeton has the variety. 3 brands to choose from: Chevrolet, GMC, and Ram. Whether you're a farmer, whether you're pulling a camper with your favorite person, or whether you just want to drive a truck, Trice Hughes in Princeton has your truck. Stop by and pick out your truck today.
Find them on Highway 91 North Princeton or at tricehughes.com.
More than just social media posts, coverage of your team with a stylish new look and a great new free app, which you need to download or update to now. Get the story with pictures and video like nowhere else. Download now from the crew you know as the area sports leader at yoursportsedge.com. Nowhere else.
We are the champions.
New app, new look, the gold standard. Yoursportsedge.com.
We are the champions.
Download now. Yoursportsedge.com.
Back on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Caldwell County boys basketball coach Daniel Cookie Hicko in the studio with us, along with Caldwell County baseball head coach Jimmy Dyer. And Jimmy, I have to admit, I missed a milestone during the baseball season. That second win of the year over Fort Campbell in the All-A Classic. That was the 800th Caldwell County baseball win all time. And I kind of missed that one. I'm going to blame the COVID on that one, but I kind of had a little bout with that right at the first of the season. So, yeah, we missed 800 wins all time at Caldwell County.
Well, it's not too late to celebrate.
Yeah.
We'll party on. I appreciate you keeping up with all of that stuff. That takes some time and energy from you, and I appreciate that because, like when we were going to honor Coach Stallings, my first call was to Todd, and I go, man, I need some stats. I need some information. I know you got it, and thank you for that. But 800 wins, that's pretty good.
Well, I didn't realize when Bradley stepped down and he said it'd been 18 years. I'm like, no way, 18 years? Because I remember hanging out with you guys before that, your first time around at Caldwell, and I'm like, it can't have been 18 years since Jimmy was head coach.
Yeah, you're now getting officially old when you start saying things like that. But, time flies, and, 18 years. I just remember having Coach Stallings in class and coaching him, and then here we are, 20 years later.
According to the available records, Caldwell's all-time record now is 811 wins, 569 losses, and 2 ties.
Probably a little darkness in there in the early days.
One of those was at Livingston, somewhere in the 70s, I think, around 78 maybe, where it got dark and the game was tied and they had to stop it and it never got made up. So it's officially a tie. They went like 6 innings or 7 innings, so that's a tie. And there was a game not too long ago at Trigg County that got 6 or 7 innings in, and then it rained, and the game never got made up. So, once you go past a certain point, it's an official game, and it just kind of goes down as a tie. So there's your 2 official ties on the all-time record.
All right.
There should be like some kind of little asterisk put in there that if you can't tie, you got to play RBI baseball or something. You got to play something to finish out and get a winner.
Well, still the flip the coin
or
thing.
Flip the coin. There you go.
Team.
Something.
And I will admit that I think there might be a few games missing from a couple of years in the 60s someplace that maybe I haven't uncovered every game, but this is pretty close. As far as records go, it's pretty close.
That's a bunch of wins because, I even go back to when I played. Our season finale record was 8-8.
Yeah.
And we had some games rained out, but you just didn't schedule very many games back in the day. So that's 800's a whole bunch.
Well, there was a point where when Caldwell was in the 5th district or whatever it was called, because at one point the baseball districts were a little different.
Yeah.
I think we were actually the 6th district at some point, but it was the 5th district schools. Everybody had dirt infields. So if it rained, you were done for a week.
Yes, and I remember my junior year, they brought 2 loads of dirt and put it on the field, and then it sets into raining. So we didn't get to practice for a long time. So, yeah, I remember the dirt infield.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the alignment was at one point, but Trigg County was actually over in the district with the Christian County schools, and I think our district was Caldwell, Lyon, Livingston, and Crittenden.
That's right. And we played, were we in the first region? Because we played our regional games at Murray.
At one point, yes, because the first regional runner-up team that we had, I think, was a first region team. I think they actually just called it the West Kentucky region or whatever back then. So, yeah, it gets a little complicated. I was telling somebody during the regional tournament about, they announced the pitch counts now between every half inning, and so-and-so has thrown 31 pitches or whatever, and that always kind of strikes me as weird because I can remember reading about one guy from Fort Campbell back in the 70s, I think, maybe the 80s. Kid was a really good pitcher. He pitched every game for them. He pitched both games in the district tournament, and they won. They made it to the regional championship game and were region runners-up, and that same kid pitched every inning. Can you imagine that now?
Wow.
He had a rubber arm.
Yes, had to have.
But there's actually been a few years in Caldwell County history where if you go back and look, back in the 60s, like you mentioned, Jimmy, we didn't always play a whole lot of games back then because of the weather or whatever, and I'm sure people were playing football a whole lot in the spring back then too. There'd be a lot of years where the pitcher of record every game was almost the same person every time. So you knew that one guy was getting the ball a lot.
Yeah, and, we always tell stories of when we were kids and stuff and how tough we were, but I always tell them, I go, we saw everybody's number one or number two because we played 2 games a week. You never saw a number 3, so we saw good pitching every single time we played.
Well, and that's something I always point out when people talk about pitchers' records. You go back and look at somebody's record when they're a sophomore sometimes, and it's a lot better than when they were a senior. But you're like, but when they were a sophomore, they were the number 3 or 4 guy, so they were pitching against different teams.
Right.
When they became the number 1 guy, they got to pitch against Henderson County and Christian County and Paducah Tillman and all those kind of guys.
That's exactly right.
So it stats are sometimes misleading. I mean, numbers are numbers, but you can't always go completely by stats.
No, you're exactly right.
Talking this morning with Caldwell basketball coach Daniel Cookie Hicko, Tiger baseball coach Jimmy Dyer in the studio with us. And Jimmy, we touched on this a little bit, but when you look back to some of those teams you had first time around at Caldwell County, what kind of sticks out? What kind of memories do you have from those groups?
My first memory is these guys, Kukiko, Dunn, Seymour, Bug, that bunch. Their senior year, we win the district, we win the first game in the region, and we get beat by Webster County, who goes to the Final Four 2 years in a row. But the thing that I remember was the leadership these guys had. We did not have to work real hard on discipline. We didn't have to, yell and drive, go. They took care of it, and boy, that was fun.
My theory has always been that if you look at any high school team, whatever sport, they're only as good as their senior leadership, because coaches can only say so much or yell so much. At some point, that group of seniors, and sometimes you can have some really good juniors that kind of take on that role, but the team kind of has to police itself at some point.
And they were good at it. They were. We had some real young fellas that were playing. Brett Hawkins was one of them that just passed away, and they were able to groom him. And if you're an 8th grader, does it mean more coming from a senior or from the coach?
Right.
It means more coming from a senior. It really does.
Well, and just looking at both of you guys now and thinking back that you guys were both multi-sport athletes in school.
Yeah, when I played, summers were off, though. Yeah. We didn't have the competition for everything. I played baseball, basketball, and football, and I think in the summer we lifted weights maybe twice a week, something like that. Now I played, senior Babe Ruth baseball and those things, but it wasn't quite as demanding as it is today.
Absolutely. It was the same thing. I remember from a baseball standpoint, there was the was it post 116 that was out here? And other than that, if you didn't try out or make that team, there weren't really a whole lot of other teams to play on unless you wanted to travel to, who knows where to be on a team. And basketball was kind of the same way. You had summer basketball, I remember, was different than it is now. We played more games, did a lot more team camps just at local high schools where you played a lot of games over a course of a couple of days. So like Coach Dyer said, it was just it was different back then.
Jimmy, when you played basketball, did you guys get to wear those sweet Tiger uniforms with the script Tigers over them?
And the shorty shorts, heck yeah, real tall socks. I think we ought to look at going back that way, Coach Kukiko.
Well,
somebody's got to get it started.
Some of those players like rolling those shorts out. We may end up there for long.
Well, everything comes back, though. I don't think we'll ever get back to the short shorts in basketball, but we might get back to them being, not down to past your knees. I think we'll get back to actual shorts. But yeah, to me, when I look back at Tiger uniforms through the history of Caldwell basketball, that script Tigers just always sticks out to me. And maybe that's because that's the first thing I remember seeing when I was little, is watching a game and seeing those uniforms. But just always thought that looked so classy with the script Tigers across it.
Well, we're looking at getting some new home uniforms, and we're real serious about getting pretty much what I wore back in the 70s and early 80s, and it pinstripes with the script Tigers, just like you're talking about, across the chest. We've got some mock-ups, and they look good.
Now, did you ever get to wear the light blue baseball uniforms?
Dude, that started with my senior year, and we went to Coach Stevens and said, Coach Stevens, can we do something a little different than this? So we ended up getting different jerseys, but we wore those baby blue pants most of the season. We did have the pinstripes also, but that wasn't a good move.
I remember a lot of guys talking about those uniforms, and sometimes a uniform looks good in a book or whatever, in a catalog, and you get it and put it on, it doesn't look the same for some reason.
Yeah, that was ugly.
Talking this morning with Tiger baseball head coach Jimmy Dyer, also Caldwell County basketball head coach Daniel Cookie Hicko in the studio with us. And Daniel, I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, but I know with basketball coming up, one thing I'm really looking forward to next season is the return of the West Kentucky Hoops Classic.
Absolutely. I think we have finalized, and I'll give a shout out to the tournament director, Torrey Hammond. He's done a great job of working on filling those teams, and we've got another good field coming. We've got a lot of talent that'll be coming to the gym. More information will be coming about that, but as of now, we have a full slate of teams, both on the boys and girls sides, and hopefully by then all the capacities will be we can fill the cab up.
Yes.
And we've got it's just going to be we've got just a really good field, and it's a good atmosphere. And the thing that I think we're at with this tournament now, and to be honest, last year's field may be one of the best we've ever had coming. Didn't get to have it, of course, but we're to the point now with this tournament where a lot of really good teams from lots of other states are contacting us and wanting to come to this event. And I think that says a lot, because this event's not just about Caldwell County basketball, or definitely not about the coaches or anything. It's about our community. They're always very complimentary of our just our community and how much support there is here. The local restaurants that donate and all the businesses that sponsor, and it's pretty cool. And then obviously we added a couple of years ago. We added the team breakfast. This year we've got Max Apple, who's affiliated with UK, and we're working on him potentially bringing some former UK basketball players, which will be kind of cool to see some big name guys that are last time we had Cameron Mills that spoke, and so it's cool to be able to pour into these guys on the court, but also give them a little some life things to think about as well.
And I'll have Torrey in here next week to talk a little bit more about it. So now that all worked out great, that's sort of a lead-in for next week's show.
He does a great job. I go back to 5-6 years ago when they've been one of our sponsors, along with Williams Fond and Associates and First Southern, since we started this. And at first it was they just kind of sponsored and said, hey, here's our monetary donation. Let us know what we can do to help. And then Torrey and I sat down. He called me and he said, what we want to make this bigger. And I said, what do you mean bigger? And if you know Torrey at all, he doesn't think inside a box at all, which is great. And I think the first team he wanted to get in here was Oak Hill Academy. I said, what do you know about Oak Hill Academy? He said, well, nothing right now. I'm looking into them. And I said, do you remember Patrick Patterson and those guys? Well, they all played there.
Yeah.
He said, really? And, of course, he's an Ole Miss fan, so we'll let him slide on that one. But he just started contacting, and he's a good salesman. So these teams are coming here in a large part to him. So it's just pretty cool to see how the tournament has progressed since we started it.
This is the Sideline Report on WPKY Princeton. And Jimmy, I should have brought this up when we were talking about the uniforms. I'm not sure why I didn't, but the Rams, man, what's up with the Rams uniforms? I know you're a big Rams fan.
I'm a big Rams fan. You win the Super Bowl, and then you change your uniform, and the football gods do not let you live it down. They've not been back, since. Go back.
It's time for a retro phase in the NFL. The Rams and the Seahawks are the first two that come to my mind. The Broncos. Go back to wearing uniforms, football uniforms.
I agree, but I agree with baseball too. Bring back the Houston Astros and the Padres back in the 70s and 80s. Those were awesome.
Well, your Brewers are looking pretty good right now.
You just jinxed them. It's over. So, but yeah, we're. I didn't even check. Are we in first place or a game out? Something like that.
I'm not sure. The Cardinals have lost so many games in a row that I've kind of lost a little interest in the whole thing.
Yeah, all we needed last week was the Cardinals to beat the Cubs once or twice, and that would have set us apart, and they couldn't do it. So I can't even believe I said Cubs. I hate that word.
Well, the Cardinals have had some injuries. They probably had 4 more guys go on the IL while we were talking about them.
I hate that for you.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in, and I hadn't really planned you guys being here together like this, and hadn't really thought of the picture or the baseball thing or anything, but I'm glad this worked out.
Absolutely.
I am too.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and have to have you guys back in again sometime.
Hey, anytime.
Sounds great.
That is Tiger baseball head coach Jimmy Dyer, Caldwell County boys basketball head coach Daniel Cookie Hicko. I appreciate both of them being on the Sideline Report today. That's going to wrap us up. Thanks for joining us here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The search continues this morning for anyone trapped, hurt, or killed in the wreckage of a partially collapsed condo building in Surfside, Florida. That's near Miami.